Hey YouTube. I just did a big, about 60% water change. I've been letting this tank go for, I'd say, about 3 months. Just kind of topping off the water. My local water source is pretty hard now, as opposed to very, very soft where I used to live. So I've kind of had to cope with that. I know the water was getting a little bit harder every time I just topped it off. So I did a big water change today to kind of remove all the built up minerals in the tank. And I think you'll be able to see, compared to some of the older videos, the tank's a lot clearer now. The Java moss here on the right hand side is really taken off, and it's doing its own thing, but the beauty of it is how well it's harboring the red cherry shrimp in this tank. There's a lot of cherry shrimp in here. Now, after that big water change, I did just feed the tank. So there's some shrimp pellets in there that those guys are munching on. I put a couple in there. And then I fed some pellets a couple of minutes ago. Now, unfortunately, I have lost a lot of neon tetras. There's only 2 or 3 left in the tank out of an initial school of 12. I believe it was neon tetra disease, but it was complicated by what I think was fish tuberculosis a while ago. I had several neons and a couple of cardinals die from bent spines and distended stomachs. I had one X-ray die from a distended stomach that I suspect was just, it was the one that always gorged itself on food, and I suspect it just kind of got constipated. I'm down to those 2 Plecos yet. In fact, one of them is out. Let's see if she'll stay out for me. There she is. You can see a couple of good cherry shrimp up in front. There's a giant batch of cherry shrimp right here. That's what I mean about the Java moss. It's a real symbiotic relationship between these 2 species, I think. The shrimp keep it clean and help it grow better, and it shelters the shrimp from the fish. That's why I've kind of let it grow out of control here. While I wait for the rest of my plants to grow in, you can see my crinum in the back, Neuroleaf crinum. It grows from a bulb. It's related to a lily. I really like the leaves. They'll get very long. They can be up to 3 feet long. I think the longest in this tank is about 2 feet now, so it will be able to stretch the length of the tank as it continues to grow in. It's also possible to have it flower. My crypts over here are starting a forest, and I hope to have them grow in and provide shelter for baby X-rays soon. Until then, the moss is kind of standing in. Once my crypts really grow in, I'll back the moss off. There's the cat who only takes interest in the fish tank when I do. Iggy.